What's up, Banana Brains? Cranky Kong here, and I'm bringing you to some frickin' Donkey Kong. I'm taking a little bit of break from Dark Souls just to monkey around, if you will. I figured that since last week's Throwback Thursday was only one episode, I would at least treat you guys to some good old-fashioned Donkey Kong on a regular basis. You know, I'll throw an episode in here, maybe one in a couple days. For this week's Throwback Thursday, I'll probably activate something a little bit different. Maybe some Castlevania, maybe some Suikoden, maybe even some Yoshi's Island. But we're gonna get in there, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing what we do best. And that is monkeying around. I always forget where the levels are in this level, the bonus levels. So we found On Guard. So at least we're fucking up. Well, at least we got that going for us. Of course, we need the coolest jets. Fucking Slappy over here is out of control. Is there only one special level, bonus level in this level? Because the only one I'm thinking of is coming right up. I'm thinking there's at least one more. Kapoo. Pew. Poo. Pew. Pew. Yeah, see, easy as shit. And it goes down smooth. I have to remember where the DK coin is too. Let's hit Slappy one more time. I probably already passed that too. At least there's something down there. There's the G. That means I'm near the end. Aha! There's the DK coin. I knew it was somewhere around here. We'll take the bananas. No shame. I can't believe that was the only bonus level. Oh, but it was. I'm okay with that. That means I still got it. The last time I was playing Donkey Kong Country, I mentioned a YouTube band called Burning Idol. They've only ever made 3 songs, and all 3 of them are from Donkey Kong Country 2. Covers of Mining Melancholy, Stick Brush Symphony, which is from the Bramble Blast level, and My Head Hop, which is what's playing now. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of their Stick Brush Symphony cover, but that's mostly because I'm not a huge fan of the Stick Brush Symphony song in the game that much. Like, for a lot of people, that's the best like background music in this entire game. For me, it was like the mining levels. That's where it at. Mining Melancholy. I love their version. So if you ever get a wild hair up your ass, like, go check that out. Just type in Burning Idol into the YouTube search, and probably will be the first thing that comes up. In fact, you could probably even type in Mining Melancholy, and their song will be one of the first that pops up. And we made it all the way here with our Rhino. And then we fucked it up. That's alright. Actually, I probably should have done that on purpose, because we need the Rhino to break through that rock. Oop. This guy needs to get out of here, that's for sure. Screw the K coin. We're not going to want to spell call. I'm just going to speed through here real quick. I already wasted a lot of time just from dying. Not to mention, this is one of the levels that is just patience over anything else. Like, you have to stop at these steam vents in order to let your balloon fill up. Not a word. That was an instance of me just getting a little bit too hasty. It's like, I always get really cocky with this game because I'm like, man, I fucking know Donkey Kong Country inside and out. And then I get the levels like this that actually take like ass tons of patience, and I'm like, you know, I can blow through this. No, I can't blow through it. I know it's gonna sound kind of weird, but like every time I stop talking, it's not because I'm concentrating. Like, I actually think this part's kind of easy. It's the fact that I'm listening to the background music and kind of grooving out. You guys can't see it, but I'm totally like bobbing my head like, it's a pretty catchy tune we got here. I'm a fan. Alright, this is where we wanted the Rhino before. How did you know he was there? Well, I'll tell you how I knew I was there. I play Donkey Kong Country the whole way through at least once a year. And I have for almost every year since I was a kid. Obviously, I went through a period of time where I didn't have a Super Nintendo. Yeah, I got a Super Nintendo when I was, I think I was 5. And then, you know, this was one of my first games, you know, so I loved it. I picked it up, I played an ass ton of it. But then, I forget exactly what happened, but I just remember, like, trading my Super Nintendo away to one of my friends. Like, he had something I wanted, maybe it was like a Sega Dreamcast or whatever. I'm like, I'll give you my Super Nintendo for your Sega Dreamcast. And he was like, whoa, okay. But then, a couple years later, the amazing thing happened where, with the Wii, you know, they had the virtual consoles on there, and you could just download games and play, and that's been loads of fun. I downloaded ass tons of games onto my Wii, including the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, a couple Super Marios, you know, Contra, or not Contra, Chrono Trigger, that's what it is. Which, I'll admit, and I might get flack for this, but I actually haven't played Chrono Trigger until I downloaded it for the Wii U shop. Like, that's... Everybody has fond memories of their specific games back in the day. Chrono Trigger being one of them. Like, you just hear people like, just talk about how awesome their childhood was because they had Chrono Trigger. I never played it. Like, I was a poor soul. As far as RPGs and stuff go, like, my shit was, like, The Legend of Dragoon. I loved that game. Of course, that was PlayStation. The only RPG I really played for Super Nintendo has been Illusions of Gaia. And at the time, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I was like, yeah, I can't get enough of Illusions of Gaia. But I went back and played it recently. You know, whenever I built my computer here, I was like, alright, I'm gonna, for the first time in my life, I'm going to get some emulators going on. So I was like, well, what are some of the games that I absolutely loved as a kid? Of course, Illusions of Gaia was on that list. Downloaded it, played it. Still pretty decent, but it's not what I remember. I definitely got annoyed with some of the things going on in there. The music at these levels is my shit. Huzzah! The first bonus barrel. That was probably it. Oh, there it is. I missed so hard with that one. And that's a thing. One other thing I gotta kind of tell you guys is, and I'm not using this as an opportunity to advertise for my blog or anything, but I do write. I do have a little blog set up on WordPress, also under Loaf Meat, and you know, I talk about video games on there. Go figure. And one of the articles I wrote is why we should appreciate the evolution of music in video games. And I do use Donkey Kong Country 2 as a reference. I use Final Fantasy 7. You know, even though that I am personally not a huge fan of Final Fantasy 7. Don't hate me. Everybody sit down. That's one of those things on the internet, like, people just don't talk shit on Final Fantasy 7. Me, I'm indifferent. Not a bad game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm there, but I'm just, I need my other half. Let's see if I can actually cheat the system a little. Aha! And that's how you be good at Donkey Kong. Anyway, I wrote that short article, and it's actually pretty interesting if you stop and think about the evolution of music, because, you know, first we were limited by 8-bit sound, and that was a thing, you know, people had a problem with. You know, they had to make intricate, catchy music with 8-bit sound. Of course, people found inventive ways to really get things going. You know, their music style. Of course, I mean, some of you can remember, like, even regular Nintendo. You know, the basic NES. Like, some of the music on there was actually decent, even though it was very limited. And then we got, you know, Donkey Kong Country comes around, and, you know, they're just adding all sorts of love. And then over time, evolved into this huge thing where, video games are using, full orchestras for the games. Think of like Skyrim. I mean, the music in there is just beautiful. A completely orchestrated thing, like something you would find in a motion, a major motion picture. And I even made the observation of popular music in video games. And of course, I didn't use fucking Guitar Hero or Rock Band. I don't think I'd be cool with myself if I considered that a game with music. Like, oh yeah, that game's so in depth with the like really cool music it's got in there. No. But more specifically, if you like think of games like Gears of War 3, whenever what's his nuts dies and halfway through the game, spoilers, they start playing Gary Jules' Mad World, which I think is a beautiful song. Of course, the first time I heard that song was on Donnie Darko. I'm one of those guys. I think Donnie Darko is an amazing movie. But ever since I heard it on that movie, I was in love with the song. So every time I heard it anywhere, I was just like, oh yay, nerdgasm. I'll actually let you guys on a little secret. Whenever that character died in Gears of War 3 and Mad World started playing, I actually stopped. Like, I didn't pick Gears of War 3 back up until a year, at least, after that happened. Because it was just so unsettling. And that's never happened to me in a game before, especially something like Gears of War. Like, Gears of War is just one of those things where, it's basically just, over-muscular men fighting alien threat. Like, no part of it is really supposed to be emotional, but for some reason, it just hit me. And it's probably one of the only games that hit me like that. And I've played some emotional games where, I've beaten games where I've gotten to the end, I'm just like, I have that feeling, and you guys probably share this, kind of like, you're not really fulfilled, but you have no choice but to be like, well, I mean, that's the ending. I think my decisions mattered. I mean, there's those times, and then there's the other times where it's also like, Jesus fuck yes. That was epic as shit. Of course. Now, there's those moments where we get emotional, quote unquote. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop the video here. I'm close and near the time. I'll continue playing a little bit, and then I'll come back and show you guys what's up in the world of Donkey Kong. Anyway, I'll upload this real quick. If you guys liked, leave a like. If you guys have something to say, leave a comment. If you want to follow all the other stuff I'm doing, subscribe. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the future.